Have you ever found yourself chasing after things that never truly satisfy? In today's fast-paced world, we strive for success, wealth, and recognition, yet our hearts remain empty. Isaiah 55 presents an open invitation from God to a life of true fulfillment, joy, and restoration. This chapter is not just ancient poetry, it's a divine call to transformation that echoes through generations. Let us embark on a journey to understand its meaning, apply it to our lives, and experience the life-changing power of God's Word. Verse 1-2, the free gift of God's abundance. Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters. And you who have no money, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk without money, and without cost. Isaiah 55:1. Imagine a struggling man wandering through a desert, parched and desperate for water. Suddenly, he sees an oasis with a table set with a feast, food and drink beyond measure. But there's a sign, free for all who enter. No payment is required, just acceptance. This is God's invitation to all of us. The world tells us we must earn our worth, but God offers salvation, peace, and joy freely. Just as Jesus declared in John 7:37, "If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink." God calls us to experience His living water, the only source that truly satisfies. Stop chasing empty pursuits, success, material gain, or fleeting pleasure. Instead, drink deeply from God's Word, find purpose in His presence, and rest in His provision. Give ear and come to me, listen, that you may live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you, my faithful love promised to David. Isaiah 55:3. Imagine a broken contract. A man borrows money, but he fails to repay it. In the world's economy, he faces penalties and debt collectors. But in God's kingdom, He cancels our debts and gives us a new, eternal covenant of grace. God's promise to David was fulfilled in Jesus Christ, the ultimate King. Through Him, we are part of this everlasting covenant, and His love extends beyond Israel to all nations. Trusting God's promises, when life feels uncertain, know that He is faithful. His love and grace are never-ending. Verse 6-7, the urgency of seeking God. Seek the Lord, while He may be found. Call on Him, while He is near. Isaiah 55:6. Consider a man who delays responding to a life-changing opportunity, a job offer, an open door, or even a life-saving surgery. The window of opportunity closes, and regret follows. God's invitation is open, but the time to respond is now. The world is full of distractions, pulling us away from God, but the truth is, He's always near. The moment we turn to Him, He welcomes us with open arms. If you've been delaying a deeper relationship with God, start today. Pray, read His Word, and surrender your heart to Him before the distractions of life take over. Verse 8-9, God's ways are higher than ours. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. Isaiah 55:8. A child may not understand why a parent withholds candy before dinner. The parent sees the bigger picture, health and nourishment. Likewise, we may not understand God's plans, but He is always working for our good. When challenges come, trust that God's wisdom surpasses ours. What we see as setbacks, He sees as setups for greater blessings. Surrender control. Trust God even when life doesn't make sense. His ways lead to greater joy and purpose. Verse 10-11, the power of God's Word. As the rain and the snow come down from heaven, and do not return to it without watering the earth, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty. Isaiah 55:10-11. A farmer plants seeds. trusting the rain to nourish them. He knows that in time, those seeds will grow and bear fruit. God's word works the same way. When it is spoken, read, or shared, it brings transformation, healing, and life. Speak and meditate on God's word. Share it with others. It has power beyond what we can see. Verse 12-13. The promise of joy and restoration. You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and hills will burst into song before you. Isaiah 55-12. Picture a prisoner being released from a dark cell into the sunlight, stepping into freedom, joy, and peace. This is what happens when we embrace God's invitation. Our lives are transformed, our burdens lifted, and our souls find rest. God's promise is not just for eternity, but for today. He brings beauty from brokenness, purpose from pain, and joy from sorrow. Walk in the joy of the Lord. Let His peace guide your heart, no matter your circumstances. Conclusion. Answering the call. Isaiah 55 is an urgent, loving invitation from God. It calls us to turn away from what doesn't satisfy and embrace the abundant life He offers. Let's recap the key takeaways. Accept God's free gift of salvation, verse 1-2. Trust in His everlasting covenant, verse 3-5. Seek Him urgently, verse 6-7. Believe in His higher ways, verse 8-9. Speak and trust His powerful word, verse 10-11. Live in the joy of His promises, verse 12-13. Today, will you say yes to God's invitation? Will you drink from the living water and find fulfillment in Him? May this message bring transformation to your heart and a renewed sense of purpose in your life. Amen.